Woot woot, we're live. Fuck yeah. I'm just messing around with shapes and stuff for fun. Hello, Snowfall. I'm currently recovering from sickness, but I'm mostly okay. I'm just messing around with shapes and stuff to make funny character designs, I guess. Oh, I just realized that the screen capture is too big. Should fix that. There we go, you should be able to see the full screen now. Sorry about that. It's time for funny cat designs. I know it looks weird now, just wait. Yeah, I honestly don't know what I should do for my next animations. Like original animations. I am working on a map part at the moment, like in general, but as for personal projects, I only have like one thing planned. I've thought about making a comic for a while, but I have like no ideas for like an actual plot. I just have character ideas. Which isn't really enough to make a good comic. You need at least like a premise or something, but I don't even have that. Yeah, like I said, I want to make a comic, but I don't know what I want the comic to be about. So I'm just stuck in like, oh, I think this would be cool, and then be like, oh, wait, but I don't actually know how I'd get to that. Yeah, and like, it's not even like having a story necessarily. It's like, oh, I want to make a cat comic, but like, what would I even do for said cat comic? Like, sure, I could make a Warriors cat comic, I guess, but like at the same time, even if I were to just go basic and do a Warriors comic, like what's the plot of the Warriors comic, you know? And what kind of characters would I do? I don't even really like Warrior Cats that much because, like, there's not really a lot to do with the setting. It's kind of boring. Like, the clan structures, they're not interesting. Like, there could be a much cooler uh, cat society, but nope, none where I can see. I'm kind of like inspired by Raspberry has like this comic that they have, Pine Paw and the Lost World, and that kind of was like me go. That made me go like, oh, I really, really, really want to make a comic because like the whole idea and stuff, the world building was so cool. Um, and like even like the way that the comic is like written and like drawn because it's like a mix between a novel and a comic. The comic that Raspberry is making, and well, it's a Warriors comic by technicality. It's nothing like actual Warriors. Yeah, let me get a link to the Tumblr page. So yeah, Baron Clan is pretty cool. I even made like a like fan art for it, which I sent in the ask box. It was just a silly thing though. It was just a cormorant paw with a hamburger. But like pretty much the only interesting thing about Warriors is the stuff that the fans make. It's kind of like the thing about most media these days. It's like the fan version is almost always better, but you won't really get to see that be recognized by most people because of the copyright system. Because they won't let you make a better version of something that someone already has done because somebody a super long time ago decided that you can own ideas. I also am not completely sure how I'm going to do my next talking video because like I did a poll and and everyone said that they wanted me to make a video on how to design simple characters, and like I was just like, oh wait, I don't know how I'd introduce the video and stuff. So right now I'm just sketching a bunch of cats to like get an idea of stuff that I can make fairly quickly. Yeah, I don't like copyright at all. In fact, I'm going as far as to make all of my animations and original artwork to be entirely copyleft, which basically means that it's public domain, and if you use it for something, you'll also have to make your work public domain. It's like forces a bunch of people to make stuff public domain in a long chain. So like mine's public domain. It's like copy left. So if you make something with a copy left work, then you need to make your work copy left, which also means that it's public domain. And if anybody takes your work, which took my work, then they have to make a copy left too. So it's just like an endless chain of public domain. Yeah, it's basically like if I if if I can't own blank art, then no one can. So like yeah, if somebody wanted to make video edits of my YouTube videos or whatever, they could just do that and I wouldn't do anything about it. You know, what would be the funniest would be if some like big corporation or whatever decided to steal my work. I could just be like, "Oh, that's copy left. That's copy left. You have to make your shit public domain now. Sorry." That's what my dream is. Just that some company tries to steal my work and accidentally falls into my trap of making all their stuff public domain. Honestly, Same. I wish people would like trace my artwork and stuff, because like that's like the biggest form of flattery in my opinion. Like I don't care as long as they don't try to like steal my identity, you know? Also, on a side note, I really, really like Pokemon, especially my favorite Pokemon, which is Sliggoo. Sliggoo is just the coolest Pokemon. Well, not really the coolest, but it's my personal favorite Pokemon. It's just a little snail. I mean, what's not to love in a snail? About to ask all my subscribers, would you still be subscribed to me if I was a snail? I've only played two Pokemon. No, not even two Pokemon. I've only played one Pokemon game. Um, I just really like the character designs for Pokemon, so I look them up all the time. I just I just really like snails. YouTube animator mysteriously transforms into snail. Subscribers are confused. Oh, nice. Did you know that in captivity snails could live up to like 10 years? Aw, Ellie's a really cute name for a snail. I've like considered like having a pet in general, but personally, I think probably it wouldn't be best for me to get a pet like ever. I don't think I could handle taking care of another being. I can definitely take care and handle myself. The whole joke about the snail, if it like catches up to you and and it touches you and you die, like where you're like immortal, and then if the snail touches you, your immortality gets taken away. slugs are also cool. They just kind of be like lumps with tentacles. They're not called antennae, they're called tentacles because they're mollusks. They're like in the same family, phylae, as octopi and squids. That's right. These guys are related. They do be blobby. Also related to clams. There was another one that I'm forgetting. Also related to whatever the fuck, Nautilus thing? They're all related. It's a mollusk conspiracy. Fun fact: African wild dogs are not dogs. Yeah, they were family all along. Slugs, clams, nautilus, octopus, squid, all related. They're all related. Well, significantly enough for me to equate them to each other. Everything's related if you go far back enough, but that's kind of dumb. Yes, random internet facts are the best. Let me try to think of an interesting thing that I could rant about. I don't know. How about you ask me my opinion of some kind of media franchise? Because like I don't know what to talk about. But it's nice to have like an active viewer. Alrighty. In the meantime, I'm going to draw one of my characters. What do I think about Vocaloid? Well, I listen to a lot of Vocaloid songs, and I've like seen MMD animations. I don't think I have any Vocaloid hot takes necessarily. I really, really like Abusican's music. Music's really dark, but even though it's about pretty dark subject matter, I think like overall, Abusican's music is oddly positive. It's the kind of like dark music that makes you feel less alone rather than the kind of dark music that makes you sad, I'd say. Oh, Pinocchio P is also a pretty good artist, in my opinion. Pinocchio P makes really good songs. One of my favorite is The World Hasn't Started Yet, because that one is just strangely optimistic to me because it's like, oh, don't worry if you mess up or whatever, because this isn't the real run. You can like keep going. It's okay to mess up. It's okay to live a little. And I kind of like that message. People say that maybe it's like actually secretly depressing, but I don't want to think that because like yeah, a lot of Vocaloid songs are dark, um, but like the artists that I listen to, um, they can be dark sometimes, but it's always like with a purpose. It's not just like, ooh, let me tell you a scary, spooky story. It's like, hey, this is stuff that you might be dealing with, and you're not alone. You can get through this kind of stuff. Yeah. So, like, I think maybe those other ones where it's like mostly just kind of edgy, I think those ones are like, just like catharsis for catharsis' sake. Which, like, I could also understand that because, like, when I was younger, that was the kind of stuff that I was into. Like, just murdery and stuff because I was so angry at everything. I was a very angry child, which is actually why I made this character because they're a very angry child. Yeah, it's exactly the kind of stuff that you would enjoy but wouldn't show your parents. Um, in part because your parents would never believe you whenever you say that you have problems. It's okay to be an angry child. You'll grow up to be a slightly less angry adult. But, like, basically, backstories are different, but chaos is the same. Is basically how I describe the character and me. Huh. I'm trying. But, like, their name is Arnie. Specifically, their full name is Arniella Estrella, and they're a magical. I mean, sometimes sometimes you think you don't have a tragic story, but then you do. And you're just in denial. Cause like I have a friend where she was like, oh, I haven't had as bad of a life as you, and then she like has told me multiple times about how she got repeatedly bullied and stuff. It was just like, that sounds traumatic. But like, Yeah, a lot of people don't realize just how much like seemingly small stuff can actually affect you. Um, because like bullying is like legitimately traumatic for a lot of people. Man, I'm trying to invite my friends to a Discord server, but for some reason the invites aren't working. Wee. No, daycare, that's a really long time ago. There's also stuff like behavioral disorders and whatever, but I don't know. One interesting thing that one of my friends kind of informed me is that like when you have like autism, when you have like autism, things that would normally be like not abusive can be abusive for like autistic people because there are things that bother autistic people that don't bother allistic people. The reason why I know so much about psychology is that I am actively studying psychology. I'm trying to get an associate's degree in psychology so I can work my way up to a master's degree in psychology so I can then get a permit to practice therapy and then work my way to becoming a psychiatrist because that's what I want to do as a career. Um, but at the moment, that is not like something I can do right away. So, as my like, until I can do that, I'm doing art as a career, which is why I have this YouTube channel and why I have um I have like a Ko-fi and stuff and why I have my commissions open. And I was thinking of making a comic in part because if I make a comic, that'll give people more reason to like actually donate to me because I'd be like actively making a serialized thing that people will be like, "Hey, I want this to continue and actually have you finish it." And I think that would probably help me raise funds for getting my degree. And I want to be able to get my degree and be able to work on art. I want to have my cake and eat it too, is basically what I'm saying. I'm currently applying for jobs, but at the moment I'm unemployed because I used to work at McDonald's, but the manager was awful, and I was being overworked constantly. Yeah, art as a job is very, very hard, especially if you're a freelancer. I've been applying to jobs that are looking for like concept artists and animators. Actually, I highly doubt that we'll get any of them, which is why I'm also applying for like marketing jobs, customer service jobs, just any job will do. Any job that doesn't work me to the bone will do, pretty much. Um, but I find art quite enjoyable, so even if I get an art job that works me to the bone, Um, at least, at least, I'd have fun while doing it, you know? Which is not something I can say about flipping burgers. Except I didn't even get to flip burgers. It was just getting yelled at by my shitty manager and being asked to do everyone's job for them because McDonald's sucks. If you can afford to not eat at McDonald's, don't eat at McDonald's. A summer job is nice. I remember I took a summer internship at a shipping company when I was still in Korea. It was a really fun job and I learned a lot. Um, I don't know if it's available to the general public, but USA Jobs is, I think, a pretty good place to look for a decent job, I think, because that's where I got my summer job. But, I'm not completely sure because that was in Korea. The circumstances are very, very different than my current one, so I can't say for sure. But like, I'm just gonna like say the classic YouTuber thing. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Because that would support me. I also have a Ko-fi in the description, so if you know anyone who has no money, let them know. No, you don't live in America. Rip. Do you live in Europe? Since you're typing in English? I know I have like a few people who are in Spanish speaking countries because I actually posted a video in Spanish a while back. And I also know that a lot of people in Europe are multilingual. Awesome. I know quite a few people who live in Europe. It's like one of those things where it's just like, oh yeah, of course the overlap. I'm actually Puerto Rican. I I'm just also an American immigrant and black. Well, not immigrant, citizen. Yeah, it makes sense. Like I said, I heard that a lot of people. I'm aware that a lot of people in Europe are like multilingual. I like looked at the statistics, and I believe people in Europe learn like 2.7 languages on average. So almost everyone knows at least 3 languages there. So I was considering moving to Europe after I get my degree. Um, Basically, my only reason for studying in America is because it's familiar to me. I actually used to know German, but I forgot how to speak German. I was like born and raised for like the first year of my life in Germany. Like 2 or 3 years, I think, in Germany. I'll have to ask my mom again. But I used to know German, but then I forgot it because I moved to not Germany. But my first language, though, was Spanish because my parents are Puerto Rican. And then I learned English after German. And now English is the only one that I'm fluent in. Man, what happened in sixth grade German then? I've had like a lot of awful experiences with Spanish teachers because there's like this weird sense of like of like entitlement that certain Spanish speakers have. Like if you talk to a Spaniard in Americanized Spanish, which is the kind of Spanish that my parents speak in, they'll tell you that you're speaking it wrong. And if you say that, well, actually, I'm trying to speak for like the country that my parents come from, that's the kind of Spanish that I'm trying to learn how to speak, they'll be like, well, no, you can't speak like that because it's not Spaniard. Oh man, that sucks. I've been in a class that's kind of like that, where like the teacher doesn't actually teach anything and just expects you to learn it yourself. Those are the worst classes. I'd say no. I'd say as long as you're understood, it should be fine. It's just that people have a lot of stigma. It probably doesn't help that I'm black too. What I find really interesting being here in the United States is like my parents were my parents, they're always like, oh, you're not blank race, you're Puerto Rican, you're Puerto Rican, you're Puerto Rican. And then like we go outside and they're like, oh, that's an African American. I'm like, I don't know the shit about America, actually. I lived in Korea for half of my life. Thank you. I really enjoy drawing Artie because they're my favorite sluggy snail creature. They're just a little angry kid with parental issues. I could imagine being in a European country probably leaves you with a pretty light complexion, since the sun doesn't show up as frequently. Sluggy snails with parental issues. I mean, is there any other way to be? Yeah, Basically, their story is that their dad died, and then their mom got depressed, so she wasn't taking care of them properly, and then they ended up in the foster care system because of that. And then their mom just went up and left, disappeared, went AWOL. So they had to get like adopted instead of reuniting with their mom. And now they hate their mom because their mom just left them. Dark for most of the day. Dang, that sucks. I heard that like in Alaska sometimes it'll be dark for like almost the entire day. Um, how's the weather over there? Is it okay? I heard some places in America were getting really bad winter weather, but I don't know about the rest of the world. I mean, the rest of the northern hemisphere. Okay, so the weather's fine. I like making my characters suffer, but I don't like making them suffer permanently. I like them to have a little happiness once in a while. So, just above freezing and slushy. Oh, that's pretty good. I mean, for me, that's awful weather because I'm Caribbean, but like, that sounds like okay-ish, I think, for the rest of the world. It's not okay. Okay. You want full on snow? We had snow, but it didn't snow for long. And it was kind of sucked for me because I had like aches and stuff, so I couldn't just go outside. And the last time that it snowed, I was recovering from my wisdom tooth removal surgery, so no snow day for me, unfortunately. I hate climate change too. I wish the world would just fix itself overnight sometimes, but that's not how it's going to work. Unfortunately, things can't be so easy. We had snow on Christmas, it just wasn't a lot. Now it's just plain rain, not even slush. See ya. I was thinking of ending the stream about now anyways. It was nice talking to you.